It's Brian Preston, the Money Guy.
All right, this next question is from Naveen. Okay, this is one. This is a good one we talk about a good bit. At what level of net worth should one start thinking about hiring a professional for wealth, investment, financial planning, retirement tax, and withdrawal planning? How do you know what firm or person to choose? So this is sort of a two-pronged question. How do you know what kind of advisor to hire? And I think we can answer that well. And how do you know when it makes sense to do so?
So look, I'm willing to admit I'm the nerdier of the two of us. You're the better marketer. And I feel like that it's because, look, a lot of people are going to say, how do you ask a financial advisor this question and get a straight answer? Let me give you some perspective, and then I want Bo to kind of fill in the gaps on this, is that when I needed to buy life insurance for my family, I'm a big advocate that young people who have, loved ones, debt, and other things, you should have like term life insurance. And people, when they hear that you're talking about life insurance, I think if they know enough, a chill goes to the bone because they know they're probably going to get sold something. And you always have to be careful. So, but the advice I have, and this is probably, you could do the same thing. You ask a financial advisor, isn't he a hammer looking for a nail? Mm-hmm. Here's the advice I'd have for anything that deals with this, is that like life insurance, I buy from a broker who's so successful, he doesn't need to sell me life insurance because he's got a very successful insurance brokerage company that he does group insurance, he does life insurance, he does disability. It's a full service type insurance. He's not hungry for it. He can give you honest information about it. And I think it's the same thing. You have to be careful if you ask a financial advisor, do you need financial advice? We are unique in the fact that we tell you don't need a financial advisor. This is part of the abundance cycle. Come here, take free information, learn it, apply it, grow it, and we just know you will reach a level of complexity. You don't even have to go look for it. Stay simple, but eventually if you're successful enough, you'll become complex that it reaches us. That's the context I just first wanted to give, is because I think we are blessed that we are a complete fee-only, inbound marketing only type firm, meaning we don't have to go look for any business. Right. So I think that gives us, look, we do have a conflict of interest because we get business from this, but I think that context could at least be helpful when you're trying to figure out, how do you ask, do I need a financial advisor?
I think that's great. So yeah, you disclaimed it. We have a financial planning firm. We are of the opinion it's the greatest financial planning firm in all the world. That doesn't mean that the advice that we're going to give is biased. I'll answer sort of two things very quickly. Are we of the opinion that everyone should hire a financial advisor? I don't think so. I think that there are a lot of amazing resources out there with blogs and podcasts and YouTube videos and magazines and books and fill in the blank, where a lot of this you can do by self-study. Like, you can figure out a lot of this stuff certainly early on when your financial situation is more simple, when you really ought to be focusing on the big things that matter, like your savings rate, like making sure that you have your risk covered, those types of things. However, we're of the opinion that you do graduate to a point where one of three things probably happens, or maybe it's some like combination of these three. One, the gravity of your financial decisions is just so big you don't feel comfortable doing it by yourself. If I make a 10% mistake on $10,000, it's probably not going to change my life. If I make a 10% mistake on $1 million, man, now we're talking about major income replacement, major earnings opportunity, all that sort of stuff. So you're just making really big decisions. The second thing is our life just gets complicated, right? Like, things happen. Our tax return used to take us 15 minutes on April 14th. And now, holy cow, it's like 50 pages long and there's all this stuff. And we just don't know what
50.
We don't know.
That sounds
small.
small.
50 is a short one now. It just, things have gotten more complicated, and we want to make sure that we are doing all the things that we're supposed to be doing. We are dotting all of the I's and crossing all the T's. So we just don't know what we don't know. And so we want a professional to step in on that. Or third, maybe you're comfortable with the gravity of the decisions, and maybe you even know the things that you don't know, but you said, man, I'm just so busy. I have all of this different life stuff pulling on me. I've got community stuff, and I've got family stuff, and I've got work stuff, and I've got social stuff. And while I know that I should prioritize my finances, it keeps getting put to the back burner. Every time I hear somebody say something about will, I'm like, oh, and I kind of hunch down in my chair because I know I haven't gotten those estate documents in place that I knew I should have. That might be a really clear and obvious sign. Hey, maybe now is a good time for me to hire an advisor that can step in and help make sure that the things in my financial life that need to stay on the front burner actually do stay on the front burner.
I got one more. We have so many financial mutants out there that I meet you, you become prospects, and I'm like, man, in another life, you could have totally done this for a living. I agree with everything that you, from your mindset of how you've handled your money. But the problem is your spouse or your significant other, unfortunately, you've done an incredible job of managing, building success, but you're worried what happens when you can't speak for the family anymore. And we have a whole group of people that come to us because they align with our the way we look at money, the way we process money, the way we decide about it. And they know that we're the backup plan. I mean, because that is something that we see. We see very capable, very smart people come to us because they just want to make sure that down the road, if something should ever happen to them, their significant other will be able to keep this type of good decision-making and stewardship going forward. That's a powerful thing. And we don't take that lightly at all. I think you nailed it, Bo, with those three. When I was thinking about, because I do think I love our win-win situation of that we can give away all this information, enjoy seeing people reach success, and we know it's all going to come back. That's why I love the abundance cycle, and it really does create a win-win for everyone. And I think about all the, I'm just going to say it at this point, because we've been doing it since 2006, millions of people that we are changing the financial landscape off of giving away all this free advice.
Love it.